Remember that scene from the original Jumanji when the kid was almost swallowed whole by a giant man-eating plant? Thankfully, no human has ever been recorded to be devoured by a plant in real life, but some unsuspecting animals have fallen victim to certain flesh-eating flora. I dare you to stop and smell the roses as we round up 11 plants that eat animals. What's up, Facnetics? This is Discovery Amuse serving up your daily dose of the most outrageous, outlandish, and out-of-this-world fun facts. Watch till the end because our number one pick has a huge appetite for rodents, and I'm not mad about it at all. Let's get to it, green thumbs. Number 11, Venus Flytrap. Perhaps the most recognizable carnivorous plant in the world, Venus flytraps have made a cameo in countless Hollywood movies throughout the years. Duck! But just how well do you know this alien-looking plant? A Venus flytrap starts off its mealtime by trapping insects and arachnids in its leaves. When a bug crawls in its leaves and comes in contact with its tiny hairs, the trap prepares to close. If the prey touches another hair within 20 seconds, the trap will immediately close so its prey cannot escape. Digestive enzymes will then be released, and it will take roughly 10 days to consume and reduce its catch to a husk. But have you ever wondered what it actually feels like if you stick your finger into one of these bad boys? This dude just did exactly that.
Get my finger in there. Okay, I can actually feel pressure on it.
And just to up the ante, he even taped the Venus flytrap to his finger.
Please don't eat me, don't eat me.
A few hours later, the man's finger was completely torn off. JK.
Definitely a little bit of weird reaction going on right there. So you can see that it's kind of white right there.
Keep watching because our top pick is definitely something you don't see every day. Number 10, Waterwheel Plant. Known as the aquatic version of the Venus flytrap, the waterwheel plant, aka Aldrovanda, has no roots and just floats on lake surfaces to lure small insects. It is native to parts of Europe, Asia, Africa, and Australia, and mainly spreads around by sticking themselves onto birds' feet. Waterwheel plants consist of floating stems that can grow from 2 to 16 inches in length. Their trap leaves grow in whorls between 5 to 9 inches along these stems. The actual traps are located underwater and are made up of 2 lobes lined with fine trigger hairs. Upon contact, these lobes snap shut in just a matter of 10 to 20 milliseconds, one of the fastest fatality moves in the plant kingdom. Number 9, Cobra Lily. Unlike their reptile namesake, Cobra lilies don't shoot venom or strike their prey. Heck, they don't even move at all, but that doesn't mean they're lousy predators. Cobra lilies draw insects into their mouth through their sweet-smelling nectar. Once the insects are inside, just like this fly, they are met with translucent patches that look like false exits, which confuse and exhaust the victims as they try to escape. Even if the prey finds the concealed true exit by some miracle, it has slippery walls and downward-pointing hairs that make escaping a futile attempt. Eventually, the prey falls into the pitcher, where the Cobra Lily releases an enzyme that digests it. And just in case you're wondering what the belly of a Cobra Lily looks like,
so it looks like this guy has had a main diet, probably of flies, but look at how the flies have basically turned to powder in here.
That's one ravenous plant for sure. Number 8, sun pitchers. The sun pitcher, otherwise known as Heliumphora, is a collective name for about 23 species of carnivorous plants endemic to South America. And just like cobra lilies, these plants attract their prey with their sweet nectar and lure them into pitfall traps with slippery surfaces and sharp downward-facing hairs that prevent insects from escaping. However, the sun pitcher does not produce its own enzymes to help digestion. It relies on bacteria that inhabit the pitcher's water to break down their dead prey's body into nutrients that the plant can absorb. So basically, there's a whole ecosystem in their tummies. Number 7, Cape Sundew. Don't be fooled by the whimsical look of this plant that looks like a cross between a caterpillar and a lychee. Typically found in South Africa, Cape Sundews use the sweet, shimmering droplets on their tentacles to attract tiny bugs. Once the insect takes the bait, the tentacles secrete a sticky substance that traps these insects. And then it's time for the main event. Watch as the Cape Sundew envelops its prey completely in a killer move called thigmotropism. This triggers the beginning of the digestion process as more tentacles come in contact with the prey like a deadly version of a bear hug. Because they usually live in bogs that don't have enough sources of nutrients, Cape Sundews resort to feeding this way in order to survive. Number 6. Butterworts. The Pinguicula, more commonly known as butterworts, have become quite popular among plant parents because unlike a lot of carnivorous plants, these flesh-eating succulents actually grow some nice, attractive flowers. They do look pretty fly for a fly eater.
And all the girlies say I'm pretty fly for a white guy.
Butterworts produce leaves covered with tiny, sticky hairs that trap their prey. These leaves also produce secretions that form like droplets of water on its surface, fooling insects into thinking they're nothing but harmless morning dew. The more the insect struggles to escape, the more enzymes are secreted, which soon encases the prey. This starts the plant's digestion process. The plant breaks down its prey's body and begins to absorb nutrients into the leaves through cuticular holes. After butterwort has had its fill, the bug's exoskeleton is left on the leaf surface because they're classy like that. You can just look at their gorgeous blooms instead.
Look over there!
Where? Number 5. Moccasin Flower. These plants are also called lady's slipper because, well, they do look like a nice pretty footwear. But unlike a lot of meat-eating plants that are distant cousins of the pitcher plant, these dainty floras are more genetically related to oak and apple trees. But the MO of the moccasin flower is quite similar to other carnivorous plants on this list. Ants and bugs crawl into the slipper-shaped pitcher in search of nectar, and once they're there, it's basically game over.
Oops.
The pitcher's slippery surface makes it harder for the insects to free itself. As the insect struggles, the plant's digestive enzymes start breaking down the prey's body until the plant has fully consumed the nutrients it needs from its victim. Dracula has entered the chat. Number 4. Triphyophyllum. Considered the largest of all identified carnivorous plants in the world, the Triphyophyllum peltatum grows in a few West African tropical forests. It has a 3-stage life cycle indicated by the growth of different shaped leaves. The second stage is when the plant produces the characteristic long, slender leaves which capture its prey. Its sticky leaves with seeming droplets of water on its surface attract insects of all shapes and sizes. Once an insect comes in contact with the leaf, there is no way to pull a Michael Scofield as its fatal end is sealed. Number 3. Brocchinia Reducta. Meet the pineapple's evil cousin twice removed, the Brocchinia Reducta. This bromeliad flaunts a tall, tubular whorl of leaves that it uses to lure its food. It forms a water-storing cup with its overlapping leaves, which are coated with waxy scales. These scales also reflect ultraviolet light that makes insects go gaga like ravers at a nightclub dancing to throwback 80s music. To make matters worse, the water stored in the cup emits a sweet smell irresistible to insects. Once the bugs are lured into their leaves, they face their untimely demise as they plunge into the pool of death. Number 2. Roridula. Endemic to the Western Cape province of South Africa, the Roridula is an insect-trapping shrub that grows in mountains with nutrient-poor soils. It has thin, woody, upright stems with lance-shaped leaves crowded at the tips. These leaves have a bunch of sticky hairs that help the Roridula catch and trap insects. But that's not the most interesting facet of these carnivorous plants. Did you know that the Roridula keeps its own pets? They actually keep a bug called the Pamaridia, otherwise known as the assassin bug. Yes, they're badass like that. While the assassin bug feeds on the captured prey, their droppings act like fertilizers, enriching the Roridula's leaves. And you know what's more amazing about the Pamaridia? Take it away, overly enthusiastic plant expert.
Runs all over the plant, so how does it not get stuck? And that is also quite astounding. It's got fine little micro hairs on its body, and it acts like a non-stick surface, like you would when you bake a cake and you spray the cake pan.
Science calls this an asymbiotic relationship. I call it a murderous conspiracy. Before we go to our number one pick, do us a solid and make sure to smash the subscribe button and hit the notification bell. Don't forget to choose all so you won't miss out on any of our latest life-changing, boredom-busting content, and of course, be sure to turn on notifications in your app settings. Number 1. Nepenthes Attenboroughii. When a group of taxonomists and botanists discovered this new species of the pitcher plant deep in the jungles of Puerto Princesa in the Philippines, the newly discovered pitcher plant was heralded as one of the top 10 new species described in 2009. Named after broadcaster and known pitcher plant enthusiast Sir David Attenborough, the Nepenthes Attenboroughii possesses one of the largest bell-shaped pitchers among its carnivorous cousins. In fact, the largest recorded pitcher of this species measured more than 1.5 liters in volume. Because of that, they were able to trap bigger animals such as rats. Want proof? Here's the remains of a shrew found inside a pitcher.
All that is left is bones and some of the fur, which just goes to show how quickly digestion is taking place within the pitchers of this marvelous species.
So, if given the chance, which of these plants would you like to keep in your garden? Let us know in the comments section below. Take home any of our exclusive gear by browsing our merch shelf or clicking the link in the video description. And while you're at it, take our quiz to find out how you can earn extra cash online doing what you do best. Awesome, right? Craving more natural wonders? Then don't miss our ranking of the 10 scientifically impossible places that actually exist. Till then, take care of the plants, Factnatics, and see you in the next video.